Guys, so just so you know, this is probably going to contradict some of the stuff that the likes of social media influencers tell you, like Rob Lipset and all that. The reason that they'll tell you that timing doesn't matter and it only matters what you're taking in is because timing of nutrition is a very complex subject, and if he makes something too complex and people aren't understanding them, that means that he isn't going to get as many followers because people don't understand what he's saying. So now I'm not saying that just getting in the right nutrition doesn't work, it does, but timing it properly optimizes that nutrition. So just keep that in mind and let's get into it. Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a quick nutrition video. As I said, I was going to do it on Friday. As you can see here, this is going to be based off a person who is waking up at 8 a.m, going to sleep at 12 a.m, and is training between the hours of 6 and 7. They're consuming 2,000 calories a day, which is recommended, 200 of which are carbs, 165 of which are proteins, and 60 of which are fats. Just to make things clear, there is 4 calories in 1 gram of carb, 4 calories in 1 gram of protein, and 9 calories in 1 gram of fat. So that comes out to exactly 2,000. So this could probably be the routine of your average schoolboy or someone who's in college. Right, so let's get into it. Breakfast, waking up at 8 a.m. For our breakfast, we're going to be focusing primarily on getting in fats and proteins. So if you can have a small bit of carbs if you want, but they ideally want to be very slow releasing brown carbohydrates, which would be porridge would be fairly slow releasing, but even if you have too much sugar or anything like that, it's going to spike your insulin, and then later on in the day you're going to have a sugar crash, which we're trying to avoid. So I'd say wholemeal toast would actually be a good option if you want to add some carbs. So wholemeal toast, some eggs high in protein, bit of fats in there as well, rashers, sausages, stuff like that. So mainly we're trying to focus on fats, proteins, and slow releasing carbs. So that's gonna continue throughout the day up until just before we get to our training block. So the fats, proteins, and slow releasing carbs, if you're someone who is quite fond of carbs, I would recommend having like the brown pasta, brown rice, a bit of porridge, wholemeal. Any kind of wholemeal stuff will be a lot slower releasing than kind of your white carbs. So from this point to this point, you should be mainly fats and proteins. So what kind of food sources could you get that out of? Very, very easy option for that is an omelette. It's very, very easy to get a big omelette into you. Have your eggs, your ham, your cheese. You could even throw in pudding, bit of chopped up sausages, whatever you want. All while keeping an eye on these two, the fats and proteins. And if you're going to be having carbs, the likes of brown pasta or brown rice, all the slow releasing stuff, obviously keep an eye on carbs as well, because having a decent bit of carbs is going to be very important once we get to this point, which would be roughly 1.5, so we'll say half 4, about an hour and a half before your training session. So once we get to there, we can have stuff that is slightly more slow releasing. So the likes of white pasta, white rice, white bread, and once we get even closer, even within half an hour of the training session, we could maybe have a few little sweets or anything like that to get your sugar levels up. So once we get into that, once we start training, our metabolism is going to start spiking. So once that happens, once we go into a spike in our metabolism, we start to digest and use nutrients more efficiently. So at this point, there will be a lot of the glycogen levels in your muscles will have started to deplete. So this is the point where you want to get a lot of carbs in. So let's say you have eaten 100 grams, or we won't even say 100 grams, so you've eaten 50 grams of carbs through at this point in your day, through brown sources. You would ideally, as soon as you finish your workout, training session, whatever it is, you want to be getting a decent few carbs in. So real quick releasing carbs. So one other thing that I want to keep in mind is every time that you take in sugars, your insulin's going to spike. So if your insulin spikes too early in the day and you're not consuming sugar for the rest of the day, you're going to have a sugar crash. So that's why I wouldn't recommend just taking real sugary stuff in the morning, as you'll see me mention in the video. But they should be taken after a workout because it spikes insulin, and what the insulin does is it helps carry all the nutrition that you've had throughout the day into the muscles. A few jellies, some even just pure sugar. Dextrose would be the fastest releasing sugar. So you can have that, just throw it into a shake. You also want to get your protein sources. Whey powder is the fastest releasing protein that we know of. So you could have dextrose, whey, maybe even a bit of fruit, maybe banana. And you want to kind of be getting all that kind of stuff in. Banana wouldn't be the fastest releasing now. The fastest releasing would be pineapple or something like that. But you get all that and just throw it all into a shake. Get all that into a shake. Get your glycogen levels up, get your protein levels up to aid with recovery. Obviously there's the spike in your metabolism here, so all that's going to be taken in instantly. And then for about half an hour, that spike in our metabolism is going to continue. So within that half an hour is realistically when you want to be getting all this in. So we come down here into, we'll say, this will be your dinner, maybe, we'll say 8:30. That's roughly the time that, about half an hour after your workout, that might be the rough time that you're having your dinner, or an hour or whatever. We want to get the rest of what you've had today. So we'll say you'd want to be having all your fats this side of your workout. So you've consumed your 60 fats here. You've consumed 50 grams of your carbs here. So that leaves you with 150 carbs, no fats, and your protein, you're after getting in, how much protein you after getting in here? You're after getting in roughly 60 grams of protein here. You've gotten in 50 grams of protein here, so that still leaves you another 55 grams or 65 grams of protein. So this meal here wants to be primarily consistent of white carbohydrates. So get your potato, your pasta, your white pasta, your white rice, whatever. You just work out yourself, whatever you like. Then get your other, what did I say, 50, 60, whatever amount of protein that was left. Get that in this meal here. So that will be you finished eating for the day once you have that in. And then what that does is that leaves you in, now all this being in the ideal sequence that I just mentioned, that should leave you in a fat burning zone all the way around to here, and then the cycle continues. Now this is obviously gonna vary depending on who you are. Like if you're just trying to lose weight, like here, this is fine. Building muscle as well, like this is kind of catered towards someone who's trying to keep off weight or lose weight and build muscle at the same time. But if you're an elite athlete, obviously your carbs are gonna shoot up because you need a lot more energy. Such as like if you're training twice a day, you're gonna have 2 sections where you're gonna need to get your carbs in fast. So let's say you're training in the morning, you have your quick snack here before training that's consisting of light white carbs. You get your training session done, first training session of the day. There you would get your, same as here, get your quick releasing carbs in, get your protein in, all that. Then for the rest of the day, obviously have your proper breakfast after, and have that as the same kind of formula here. The quick releasing carb, they have the protein, and then there will be a window between here and here that you're going to have to get your fats in, and some more brown slow releasing carbs, and some of your protein until you get to this spot. So I know a lot of this will be confusing to some people, because you have to be properly interested to fully understand. That's why the likes of Rob Lipsett, all them kind of lads, they'll all tell you like, oh, it doesn't matter about timing. It's just it just matters on what as long as you're hitting your macros and your calories, it doesn't matter the timing. The reason that I'll say that is because this kind of stuff here, as a lot of you will probably find out now by watching this video, is very, very complex. So the more complex it is and the less people understand, the less followers he has. So he's focusing on what's the best way that I can grow followers. But in reality, the timing does matter. I'm not saying that what Rob is preaching doesn't work, but if you want to be absolutely optimal, then this is the best way to go. So I wouldn't have tapped into what's the ideal schedule and routine for every type of person, but if you want, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll answer whatever question you want. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe. Comment if you have any questions. My Instagram is down in the link below. My Strava is also in the link below. Just a final word. A lot of what I just did there is very similar to what Shane Flynn did on his Instagram page, and that's kind of where I started learning out a lot of this. I kind of learned it from his nutrition video. If anyone wants me to send that on to them, he explains it very, very well. You can just DM me on Instagram and I'll send it to you on Instagram. But I learned from a combination of that and going and doing my own research as well. So if you want to learn more about this, the best way you can learn more is just do your own research. Like you're not going to learn as well by just listening to me. Do your own research. You will learn a whole lot more, and therefore you'll be able to control your diet and all that kind of stuff a lot better. And as well as that, don't be afraid of food. Don't is the worst thing you can do. Do not be afraid to eat. If you have cravings, big deal. If we all want to live a happy life. So if eating more than all this makes you happy, go for it. But this is just kind of a helping hand to anyone who does want to improve but doesn't know where to start. So yeah, that's about it for this. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.